Hi knitting friends, Shaina Bilow here. In today's video I am going to demonstrate how to connect the two scarves from the hooded scarf pattern together and begin creating the hood. So the first step is to make sure you have the scarves arranged correctly. I know that I have my right sides facing because I put clips on the work on my right sides. And the side that I just finished is here connected to the yarn. So this is scarf B. That's the one we're going to start with, B as in boy. And this is scarf A. I've put it onto a circular needle for a stitch holder. So I like to have that ready to go from another needle so that I can just start knitting right off of it. So these stitches were on a holder, I put them onto a circular needle. All right, so the first step in the pattern is to work across the stitches of scarf B. All right, so after you've knit those stitches, you're going to turn and work the cable cast on. So here I've turned the work. I'm now looking at the wrong side of the work. My marker that indicates the right side is popping out over here. The cable cast on is worked this way. You're going to take your right hand needle and insert it between stitches 1 and 2 that are on the left hand needle. Or another way to think of that is you're inserting this needle underneath the first stitch here. Once you have that needle underneath, you're going to wrap the yarn around the right hand needle like you would for a normal knit and bring the new stitch out. I am not taking either of these two stitches off of the left hand needle. Those stitches stay on, right? Because my goal is to cast on a number of stitches here. So I don't want to remove anything I'm adding on. After I've got that stitch on the right hand needle, I'm going to swing my left hand needle forward and come up the stitch to put it onto the left hand needle. So that's stitch number 1. And I'm going to repeat. So my right hand needle goes between stitches 1 and 2 or underneath stitch 1 if that description works better for you. Wrap the yarn around the right hand needle and bring it out like a knit. Do not remove anything from the left hand needle, but bring the left hand needle forward and come up the stitch that's on the right hand needle and then remove the stitch from the right hand needle because it's now on the left. Under the stitch or between the two stitches, wrap the yarn for knitting. Come on out with your new stitch and then twist it on to the left hand needle. So knit a stitch from between those two that are on the left hand needle. And once you have the new stitch on the right hand needle, swing the left hand needle forward and up. I'll show you a couple stitches in the continental style. So I've inserted my needle the same way between stitches 1 and 2, wrap the yarn for knit, bring it through. So in, wrap the yarn, through, twist it on. In, wrap the yarn, bring it through, twist it. Same concept. So we're building on stitches right here. So the pattern calls for 11 stitches, I believe, for the adult size, or for the size that I'm making. So I'm going to count those 11. It looks like this is one of the stitches that I've cast on here, right? Because I've got this gap here. This is a trick of the eye. This stitch here was actually the last stitch that belonged with the scarf stitches, so I'm not going to count this one. So when you see this gap, just know this stitch is not one of the ones you cast on. It was the last stitch that you had that got pulled over as you were working this cast on, pulled over with these new group of stitches. So this one, it does not count. So right now I have 9 stitches on the needle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need another 2 stitches. 1 and 2. All right, and then after that I'm going to turn the needle back around so that I am looking again at the right side of the work. I am going to get my stitches from scarf A as an apple into my left hand on that needle there, and holding the right hand needle with the stitches that were just cast on in my right hand, I'm going to knit across those set of stitches, the set of stitches from scarf A, thereby connecting all of the stitches from the 2 scarves into one row. That I will then work according to pattern into a hood. Happy knitting!